think it came out right.
I think it did.
I think it did.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
All right.
We're in your home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV, turn off your mind.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. And this is, I don't know why we're here.
You don't?
No.
We're here for Soul of a Gamer. I can't point to it. Other hand. Wow.
No, yeah. You're
There
right.
we go.
Okay, so
Woo!
it's Soul of a Gamer. Look, see, there it is.
Yeah, there. Right there.
Soul of a Gamer podcast, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. We hope you enjoyed our last week episode. What the fuck did we play last week? We played
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Cards. Yes,
Yes.
I love that game.
That was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where it's just like Two Worlds. You go in with these low expectations and you're not expecting too much, and then you have fun and you're like,
Right.
okay, this is weird. This is more fun than I had playing Halo. Like, this is crazy.
I don't know.
I would say, because in Halo we did it for difficulty's sake.
Yeah,
didn't do
that's
it for
true. We
story's
did
sake.
do it. That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Some
I would
games
give you
I'm
that.
just like, why did I decide to do this on the hardest difficulty just to fuck myself?
Yes.
Because I like the game. Fuck me.
So every week we do pick a different video game that we play through, and we give a full in-depth guide of the game. Not guide, but we give a full review, kind of in-depth review. We go
I would
over
even say
everything
I'd
in the
say
game.
I make a lot of dick jokes, and then we talk about the game a little bit
I think we talk about the game quite a bit.
with a lot of dick jokes in there.
With a lot of dick jokes in there, especially sucking.
yes, sucking, and stroking. A lot of that.
A lot of it. Slow stroking.
So yeah, if you guys enjoy this content, by the way, go on and give us a like, subscribe, whatever. We're on like all the major platforms, so do something for us. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine, but comments are always appreciated because we like picking games.
Yes, you can go to those places right there.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Look at that.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
He did it. All right, so
I did the thing.
this week's game is Vanquish.
Yes.
Now, I had never heard of this game before. Never.
So I had actually found this on two different underrated games of all time.
Yes,
lists.
I'll agree with that, but we'll get into that as we get into the game, because I don't agree with it, but I do agree with it. It's like half and half.
It's weird, but
Yeah.
it's good at the same time.
But I will say, who published this game?
Sega.
The best fucking... I love Sega
And
so
I gotta
much.
say, this is probably my favorite Sega game so far.
Yeah, like Sega is so much fun. They just make fun games.
Like this. All right, best way, I'm going to describe this game in one sentence. You tell me if I'm right.
No.
Big, dumb action movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, this is exactly what you want in a big, dumb action movie.
When I played this, I'm like, this is like every fucking action game.
Yep.
Just all mushed together.
Yep.
Like, and that's what they tried to do. And the writing is so bad, and the story makes no fucking sense.
Yep.
But it's so much fun to get through.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just feel like an action hero, one of those
You
big,
really
dumb
do.
ones. Like, it's just so great if that.
So we'll go ahead and read the back of the box, because this one's very not true. Like, it's so not true for the game. So Sam Gideon, a government agent, kitted out with a futuristic battle suit in a vast space station in a near future world where nations war over the planet's remaining energy resources. Now, none of this is true. Like, literally, the guy's name. I don't know if they ever even say his last name. I think they just say
don't think
Sam.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they even included the last name in there. And he's not really a government agent either. It seemed like he was a private,
He's like, because he's from DARPA?
yeah, DARPA, which seemed like a private,
It seemed like a private militia kind
not
of
even a
tech
militia.
group.
It just seemed like a
because
scientific.
he's the only one.
Yeah,
he's
it's
the only soldier from DARPA.
Yeah, it's just like a scientific group testing shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, it's a government agency, and then the military hates him.
Yes.
So no, and then it's a near future. I'm like, you have a fucking floating space station where you have artificial gravity. No, not near future. Very far, very far, and it's huge too. It's like the size of like 6
Oh
cities.
yeah, dude, the thing.
Fuck them,
massive.
near future. Fuck them. And then planets remaining. I think they did mention a little bit about energy resources, but they did not go into great detail.
Yeah, it's about the same kind of like energy resource talk that they did with like Thanos.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like,
about
it's
as
so
detailed
vague.
as it was. Like,
just-
we're running out of resources, population.
The universe is so big.
And then
okay.
on the back of the box, the big thing in big bold: take down robot enemies.
I don't understand either. Why didn't the U.S. make robot enemy or robot?
I
Why are
don't
they
know.
sacrificing
Yeah,
people when
seriously,
it's
it's
so
all
easy
Marines.
to make robots?
Yeah.
Apparently, because they were the shit.
Well, and especially with the suits that they make for some of
Yeah.
these people. Like Burns and Gideon both
Yeah.
had some crazy
Well,
fucking
everyone
tech
else is
upgrades.
dying in one shot.
Seriously.
So this game, you're like, okay, so my best way to explain this game is if you went to an arcade in the 90s and you saw those games where you had the gun
Oh.
and you could hide behind cover with the little... That's what this game is. Like, this game
kinda
is
does.
that. Like, when I was playing it, I'm like, holy shit, this is just one of those arcade games. Because it even feels like that as you're shooting, as you're, like, hearing the voices coming
Yeah.
through. Like, that's how they came through in those games. They were just like, quickly, there's something you gotta get behind cover.
Pretty
like,
much.
Like, the way they talk to you, like, that's what these people tried to create, and they did such a shitty job at it.
Yeah, because it's not because I know like the biggest game for cover firing is Gears of War by
Yeah.
far, and this is not smooth like that at
No.
all. Like the cover system kind of sucks.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
so
jumping.
bad.
Let's talk about how this game has no jumping.
It doesn't
And
have jumping.
You can
Which-
vault over cover, but you
I was
can't jump.
okay with no jumping because it doesn't feel like there should be like this huge. Because I hate jumping in games. You know, you jump way off the ground for some reason. Even it doesn't make any fucking sense. What he was doing made sense because he had thrusters on his calves
Yeah.
and on his thighs, and so that vertical like leap over and then that slide was really cool.
The slide is amazing.
So, and I thought that made a good replacement for jumping, actually. But I will say it was annoying in certain parts. You're like, I want to jump behind cover. I got to get here quick.
Or there's certain parts like you're on like a ledge and there's like one spot you have to go down, but you could like you see that it's like literally a 2-foot drop right here,
Yeah.
and you can't just
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
down. You have to
The-
go to that certain spot to
The
drop
wall
down.
mechanics in this game just fucking horrific. 'Cause
Yes.
the walls are just so dumb. Like you think you can fall over edges, you can't do anything, and you have to jump down from ledges. You have to press a button,
Yes.
so you can't just like
You have to press
fall.
X.
Yeah, you press whatever button on my computer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On keyboard it was something, but whatever. It's just you press a button and then you lightly just tap the ground.
Yep.
But it's not good in that regard. So
No, it
this
was-
story is very weird too. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning doesn't make any sense.
I liked the beginning cinematic.
yeah,
the beginning
like,
cinematic was
cinematics are all
crazy.
cool. Like all of them were cool.
they were.
And this is upped graphics, right? They reported this.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Like I was like, it looks so
I was
smooth for
playing on
2007.
4K
Yeah,
quality. I set up my new 4K monitor.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like a really cool. Like the report seemed really cool. I don't know if I want to play the original, but the report definitely.
Yes, the
seemed
report was amazing.
So the story starts out as you in like a DARPA facility, and DARPA, I don't. They said
They
it's
never
an acronym.
said
I
what the
think.
acronym was.
I'm
don't
pretty
think.
sure it's an acronym because it had dots
Yeah.
on it, like as on their suit. But you start out there and you're just like testing out this new suit. It's bad. Like it's so weird because they say this is not a battle suit. I'm like, you have guns. And
Yeah.
it can read guns. What do
And
you mean it's not a
manifest guns?
yeah, it's a battle suit. No, scientific battle suit. But they make it clear that you're not like a soldier and
Yeah.
you're not in a battle suit and you're not like. But then all you do during this entire game is kill.
Yes.
Like all you do. So I'm so confused at why they make this game like this.
I don't know. So yeah, this suit, it starts you out in like basically like a tutorial, and it gives you the option. Like it basically does like what it does at the beginning of the first Halo game, where
Yeah.
it's like look up, look to the left, to the right. Here's how your shields work.
beginning calibration.
And then it's like, do you want to do these tutorials and you can learn how to play the
Yeah.
game? This has one of the coolest mechanics with the jetpack sliding.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Oh.
It didn't make any sense looking at the
No.
video of it, but like when you're actually doing it, I'm like, this is fucking sweet.
Yes.
Like this is so just sliding around a map. Like I loved it.
Right.
If it was
so
infinite,
incredible.
that would be so much better.
Oh, yeah,
I would have loved
seriously.
that so much.
So yeah, everything you do with this suit takes energy for the suit. And your energy in your suit is also tied to your health.
Yeah.
So if you overheat the suit, you can't get hit too many times or you'll die.
Yeah, the health bar is stupid too because you don't actually have a health bar.
Yeah.
You have no way to tell that you're almost dead besides that time slows down when if your suit is fully charged or has any charge left, time will slow down for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a moment to like recollect yourself and hide behind cover, and then it'll come back. And then if you continue getting hit after that, you'll probably die.
Yes.
But again, it doesn't give you a like sure amount of hits you're going to take.
No, and it's like any melee hits when you're overcharged will instantly kill you.
Yeah.
Any big rocket hits.
Did you notice like the bullets will change too? Like
Yeah.
you'll get shot with something and you won't die right away, but then the next time that happens you'll die quicker. Like, it doesn't make any
it's
sense.
so weird.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand. They should have put a health bar.
A lot of systems in this game didn't make a lot of sense, but that didn't change the flow of the game.
No, it didn't. But it was definitely harder to play without a health bar. I feel
Yes.
like. The story of this game, you start out with Madam President.
Yes.
I feel like, and they made it so they made the two people, the U.S. and Russia.
Yes.
Which, okay. Like,
Sure.
seriously, it's a Japanese game. Just make it fucking Japan.
They didn't want to have negative stuff against themselves.
Maybe. I don't fucking know. But they made it like, they made everyone a bad guy in this game. Like, everyone in the U.S. and Russia were bad guys.
Yes.
And the Madam President, it starts out with San Fran getting just dominated by this weapon in outer space. And it's not supposed to be a weapon.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Like
something
a new
that
infinite energy source.
the main professor that built Sam Gideon's suit made this thing as an energy source for something.
Which worked really well because it's powering an entire fucking space station, like a huge one.
Yeah.
Like the size of a fucking, like, New York City.
But all of a sudden, one of the main Russian bad guys, I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he was part of a coup to take over Russia to go to war with the United States.
Yes.
Which was weird.
So he actually finds a way to use this energy source thing to use as a weapon, and it shoots down this giant heat wave into San Francisco, basically boiling everyone alive.
Oh yeah, that was so cool.
So you see, actually, this opening cinematic is crazy. You see people's like the
Blowing
blood
up.
like starting to boil underneath their skin, and then like their heads would
veins,
explode.
Like, yeah. Oh god. It was
You see
awful.
their skin cooking. You
I
see
was
the
like,
water
okay, this is
boiling.
not
Like
PG.
yeah, the ocean actually starts boiling next to
Yeah.
San Francisco, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Like, it
Like,
was insane.
They killed millions.
Yeah. It
like,
was,
wow.
It was so fucking cool. But that happens, and then they send like a detachment of Marines. Like, this is the weird part, is I feel
yeah.
like they're so weak.
Seriously.
They send like this entire huge armada, and they're like, we can't possibly find Russia. I'm like, then how is Russia not taking us over already?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And the space station is like so shielded. They send probably like hundreds of ships. These giant ships, like, and they send them out, and like these ships are just getting blown to pieces on
How
the way
did Russia
over
get
there.
the stupid space station in the first place?
I don't know.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, they didn't start this out very well. So Russia has like 1 billion ships already there, and like way bigger than your ships.
Yeah.
Way bigger, way more powerful too, and just all guns.
Yeah.
Like, the ships are just covered in guns.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're like, they can't maneuver very well. I'm like, yeah, because it's one fucking huge gun. So you're losing badly somehow. And also, did you notice somehow you always have Marines near you?
Yes.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't even know.
You're so successful that you landed all these Marines, but you can't make any advancement? I don't understand. So, yeah, they fire this big weapon, you attack, and then DARPA gets involved somehow. They don't explain really why DARPA's involved besides the professors, like, in this area.
Yeah, the professor's on the space station, and they want to rescue him.
But
So they send Sam Gideon into Burns' team so they can, because Burns' team is the most effective at getting in.
oh my god, and he's like the worst. I hate this guy.
God.
So, by the way, Sam Gideon's voice is the worst fucking voice in all of video game history. It just sounds like
Two Worlds is still worst.
no. Well, the voice quality, the cadence.
Okay.
The cadence of his voice is the most annoying. He's like, yeah, let me tell you about this. So, like, it's just this heavy smoker voice. Like, that doesn't sound good, and then he tries to be smooth. He's like, baby. Like, it doesn't sound good at all.
He's got a full, like, Samus-style suit over his entire body, but his helmet opens up like Venom does in Spider-Man 3
Which
all
I
the
thought
time.
was cool at
Which
first,
was cool.
and then I'm like, why do you have it open in a battle scene?
Yeah.
What the
all
fuck?
time.
You're gonna get shot in the head, and that's it.
And Skyman made fun of this because even at the beginning of the game and all throughout the entire game, somehow he pulls cigarettes out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's
and
no
puts them in his
pockets.
mouth,
There's
and
no
then pulls a lighter out.
There's no pockets. There's no like little like.
It is a full like just Iron Man suit kind of thing where it's just full like.
And every time you look, he never has it in his hand. The camera always pans for a second and pans back, and it's in his mouth. And you're like, how the fuck did you just do that?
And then it would have been cool if he had like a finger lighter or something.
Yeah,
because he's wearing a suit that has all these like. That can manifest weapons. Like, why couldn't you just manifest a lighter?
And he smokes a lot. Like, I think this whole game takes place over a couple hours.
Yes, and he smokes
like
every cinematic.
eight cigarettes over a couple hours, which I don't know if that's a lot, but that seems like a lot of cigarettes.
It's like a couple back-a-day smoker kind of person.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And he's like all trying to be smooth with his girl. And this is weird too. They put a love story in there that didn't make any fucking sense. Because you don't care about this other character. Like literally, I did not. The girl, every time she talked, I'm like, why are you talking?
Well, she's
not
like,
even good at your job.
She's in a ship that didn't match any of the other ships.
Yeah, and she's hiding somehow, not getting hit by anyone.
And she's just sitting there and just being like an oracle for Sam.
And she's basically just like, I can open that. Actually, I can't open that. You're going to have to open that door yourself. I tried to hack it, but
like she can hack into like half the doors, but not
I tried
the other
Control
half.
Alt Delete, didn't work. So I don't know what to do now, Sam. Better get on it yourself.
So yeah, this is where we meet Burns though, before we
Burns. He's such a jackass.
he's
Not even likable, man.
No,
he's
not.
so unlikable. And he's abnormally large.
Like ridiculously large.
Like he's got a medal. So he's just, what is it, sergeant? Colonel?
I think he's a sergeant.
I don't remember.
He's a really high up Marine.
Yeah, it's so the highest you can get with Marine, I think, is like
Commander.
No, you can get general.
Oh yeah.
But he's not a general. There's no way. He's like, send more troops in, have their blood soak the machines and make them stop working.
Oh, and he says every cliche Marine thing you've ever heard. Like,
that's an order, soldier.
Well, that and there was one line that it's one of the things that a lot of Marines get crap for, where
Hoorah!
It's the core. It's my core, my country, and then like life and everything else, like core and country above all. So
and then
the
you're
Marine
like,
Corps,
all right, but sex is cool.
The Marine Corps is like, they will only listen to the Marine Corps. Like no matter who in the world would tell them, even if the president would say, if their general or sergeant didn't tell them to do it, they would totally ignore the president.
You know what that sounds like? A cult. So
kind of.
That's not good. That doesn't sound good at all.
And then they all believe that Marines' lives are to be sacrificed, and if people have to die, they have to die. There is no remorse at all. Like if they get 5 people into a room and they need to go, and there's 10 people out, and they have even if they could get all 10 of them in within 10 seconds and like save all of their lives,
fuck them.
They're just like, nope, fuck them. Close that door.
Their blood will clog the enemy's nostrils, and then they'll
This
die.
is what Marines do. This is what Marines are built for. This is how Marines act.
Marines forever.
Oh, okay.
And this is what this guy like perfectly like made. He's made of this bullshit that is the Marine.
Yes.
He is such a bullshit character, dude. He's not. And none of the characters are good. This is where I was really getting pissed off, is because you have all these Marines around you all the fucking time. He's around you all the fucking time. They get 0 kills. Mm-hmm. They don't do anything. They shoot and miss all the time. And then the robots are constantly fucking killing everyone.
It's a Star Wars Clone Wars battle.
Yeah.
And you're going through as a Jedi, basically having to kill everything yourself.
Well, so you're going through and you're... not the clone troopers, because they were actually good at aiming.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers are all on your side, and they can't hit shit. So the Marines are. And Burns is just such a dumb character. I hated his character because it's not even cool. No. He's not like, so even when he died, I'm like, yeah, finally, thank you.
Seriously.
Fuck this guy. I tried to do good. Like, no, you didn't. No, you fucking did it for my country. All right, then fuck you.
He was literally the worst, and he went against his country so many times.
Yeah, he killed so many Marines.
He killed more Marines than the enemy did, probably.
Probably. Honestly, he did. He just sacrificed the shit out of him. He's like, I'm more important for the mission. I'm like, are you? You're not killing anything.
He sacrificed people all the time.
And then, of course, when it was your time, so he ends up betraying you later. A big fucking surprise. Ooh, I read this game like a fucking book. I'm like, okay, president's probably in it. And then this Burns guy is probably going to betray you. And then the president, it shows like a cutscene where it shows the president talking to the Russian dude. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fucking knew it. This is such an easy, what a shit writing job they did for this game. Yeah. Like really bad. And then when you fight Burns, though, he's the most amazing, fucking impossible to kill person. And all the Marines are fucking amazing.
Yes.
Impossible to kill. Yes. I'm like, fuck you guys. Fuck you, you assholes. They get so good.
So we're digressing a little bit. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah,
so we're on the ship.
It pissed me off so much. I was so mad.
And we're starting to realize that when you're on the ship and everyone's going through all these things, You're fighting all these robots. There's all these like.
Oh, you're on the space station, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So you're on the spaceship now.
So hold on, let's backtrack a little bit more. So you
Okay.
meet Burns, and then he fights you because he's like, "I just wanted to test your metal."
Oh yeah.
And then you go.
Yeah, he cuts your cigarette,
Yeah.
but almost kills you in the
Yeah.
process.
And you're just like, my cigarette. But you fly in, and you fly to the space station. All your ships die. All of them.
All of them.
And you don't kill anything. So all your ships die. Your ship goes down. You get like a bunch of little ships out, like little carrier ships. And a lot of them die too. Your ship magically doesn't, but I think it crashes.
It does crash.
And then you get out and you're like, I gotta save the space station. I gotta save the professor. So you're going through and you're doing all this bullshit. So the enemy is robots.
Yes.
Which again, why didn't we just build fucking
I don't
robots? The robots are sweet too.
It's almost like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they send all like those robot like things, and they're just sitting in the like room, with computers and like
so much
shooting
smarter.
everything. So much smarter. Just
So the
way better.
Russians did so much of a better job on their. I don't know how they didn't take over the world. I
really don't. No, I don't know.
So yeah, and the Russian guy is just he's fucking. If you ever watch Star Trek, oh shit, what is the fucking movie After First Contact?
I don't know.
It's so you meet like a clone of Picard.
Oh, okay.
It's this bald, fucking greenish looking motherfucker who's super pale, because he's like half Romulan.
Okay.
And it looked just like him. He's in like a similar suit. He's got the bald head. He's got like, he looks just like the bad guy. So if you've ever seen that movie, that's who the bad guy is.
He reminded me of a Russian Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
he
literally.
even had a suit that he built himself,
Yeah.
and everything. And he was like a mega mind, or not mega mind genius. Like
He's Mega Mind genius, isn't he?
well, yeah, like
He's Will Ferrell genius.
he's like Dark Side, or who's that big Mastermind? He's mastermind levels of genius. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't say that.
He's like, and it's weird. He's super obsessed with fighting you for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense why he's doing any of this. But as you progress through, again, it's just weird. You just progress through fighting robots.
Yes.
So the big thing in this game is it is just like what I was describing before. You cover, fire, cover, fire. And it's got a really dumb mechanic too with the upgrades. I didn't like this.
Oh yeah, this was weird, and I didn't understand it either.
Yeah, so you go through the game and you randomly find upgrades just lying around, and depending on which gun you had out, it would upgrade one of your guns, and it would either increase damage or ammunition,
Yes.
and that's it.
Yes.
And that was stupid. Like, that's really stupid.
And it was weird because like the upgrades it kept on going up. You could go up to like level 8.
I couldn't tell. No, even further, because I went up for my assault rifle, the main one. That was the only one I upgraded until I got that cool laser cannon thing.
Oh yeah.
And then, but I upgraded that like 13 levels, and then the laser cannon I could only upgrade like 5.
Yeah, and it was so weird too because like sometimes like you would lose levels.
Yeah, which I didn't.
I never understood
and it
how that
didn't get
happened.
catalyst by anything. Like, you would either die and lose a level. Makes sense, right? Because maybe you just didn't make an autosave or something. But then you complete a level, lose a level, and I'd be like, what? Fuck
and
you!
You could also upgrade, so you could find the upgrades, but if you also picked up the same weapon a certain amount of times, it would automatically upgrade it too.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too, yeah.
So I did that with like, because I did the heavy, my 4 weapons I chose for the story mainly was the heavy machine gun, the sniper rifle, the laser cannon, and what did I do for my last one?
There's 3 weapons and grenades.
Oh yeah. So those are my 3 weapons and the grenade.
So yeah, I did the sniper rifle mainly and the main assault rifle, but it didn't matter what you did. Like, all the weapons were shit. Yeah. All of them were garbage.
The amount of recoil on the machine guns and
heavy
stuff.
Machine guns were just stupid with how little ammo. Like, they had these giant fucking clips and then just like 10 shots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how big are the bullets?
They were good against the
like armor piercing.
Armored. Yeah, they were really good against the giant mechs. There was some insane giant mechs in this game.
Yeah,
the Argus cores, cool. Those were fucking
It's like
sweet.
fighting Gundams. It was actually pretty fucking sweet.
Because like the first one you fight, it pops up and it's like walking around like a crab. It's got 4 legs and it's shooting these giant cannons at you.
And this is one of the ones where they're like, "There's too many guns on it for it to maneuver," and I'm like, "No fucking shit! It's covered in guns."
But it still would get close to you, and it would still slap the fuck out of you if it got close enough. But yeah, so they had these joints that were glowing orange that you had to shoot its arms and legs.
Seems like a really poor design concept because you make the joints very shootable.
Yeah.
And then after you shoot the joints, your core comes out, and that's very shootable too.
Yeah, so yeah, if you shoot one of the limbs down, or one of the joints down, it would fall down, its core would open up, you could shoot the core for a little bit, it would close back up, get back to...
You're like, I gotta reset, hold on.
And then
Don't shoot me, promise you're not gonna shoot me.
Once you got 2 or 3 of the joints down, it would go into its second form where it would fucking stand up and be a giant Argus.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
It would be like this huge...
Dumb. It was not even cool. Like, it's kind of cool, but it's also just like, it's not doing anything. It's barely moving.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. What the fuck is the point in this? Also, when you're having this thing, the whole point is to concentrate fire. Mm-hmm. So, like, you pull fire onto that thing so your little minion guys can go get them.
Yeah.
Didn't fucking do that either. I'm like, wow, the Russians are bad at strategy. No wonder you didn't take over the world.
Yeah. If one guy could take out all of this.
Yes. Yeah, your suit is insane, apparently. Because you're fucking doing like, the Marines are doing shit. And again... Like, you're fighting nothing but robots. You never fight any humans until you fight the main bad guy with the bald guy. No, you don't even fight a human then.
No.
But until you fight the Marines when they betray you.
Yep.
Which is also fucking stupid because you saved all their lives multiple times. So fuck those guys.
So yeah, it got really interesting because, like, the shooting mechanics in this, the recoil on a lot of the guns was terrible.
Except for the main assault rifle. That one was actually a lot of fun to use.
Yeah, some of them were bad. I really liked the laser cannon, but that overheated your system.
So quickly.
So you would have to be really careful of that, because if you were in a situation where you're being surrounded by a bunch of people shooting at you, and if you use the laser cannon, you're depleting your own health faster.
Yeah. And the way they do ammo in this game is really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Enemies don't drop ammo. Sometimes they drop a gun that you can pick up to replace a gun, or if it's the same gun, it'll refill your ammo completely.
Yes.
Or you can find like ammo chests that might have your gun in it.
Yes.
And this is a really annoying concept, because if you really like 3 guns in the game, you could go a really long time without seeing those 3 guns again. Like, I only saw the fucking cool pistol. That sweet fucking pistol.
The armor-piercing pistol.
Yeah, sweet pistol. Saw it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because the RNG is just so bad.
Well, and it was a completely RNG, because there was times that I died and checked the same chest, and it would be different every single time.
And it's just a bad way to do your game, I think, to make it, there's a finite number of ammo you can have unless you upgrade, and the finite number at one level is shit.
Yeah.
Like, you have no ammo, and as things get harder to kill, the more ammo you have to use, you start really needing ammo.
You really do need to try to stick, at least for me, I felt like you needed to stick with 3 weapons for most of the game.
Yeah.
Because you needed to upgrade those 3 weapons
to get, like,
fully. Because,
because you get fucked so easy.
Yes. Because, like, I think even the heavy machine gun, when you first get it, only has, like, 60 rounds or 80 rounds.
No, it's 200.
Oh,
I never upgraded the heavy machine gun. I just upgraded the main one and the sniper twice, and then the laser gun a couple times. But, yeah, the ammo situation in this game is bad. And why didn't they just make it so the enemies drop ammo?
I don't know.
Like, that's so dumb. Just make the enemies drop ammo.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not a hard... Don't even do every enemy. Do every 3rd enemy. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of fucking enemies. You'll never run out of ammo that way.
Yeah, and it was weird, too. Like, there was a kind of a glitch with the reloading in this game. Like, if you ran out of ammo with the gun, you could start to reload and then switch weapons and then go back to it, and it would be fully reloaded. So you could skip the reloading mechanic.
Yeah.
Or the, like,
not that it took a long
animation.
Time or anything.
No.
So, and the story, I'm just going to say it's not that important. Like, the story is really lame.
Yeah.
It is really boring. It's really one-dimensional. There's no twist that you don't expect. Like we already said, you get betrayed. Like, I could sum up the story right now. You go through the main story, you meet the main bad guy, you fight him for the first time, and then he's like, ha ha ha, but I stole the professor. And then you go away, and then you find out, like, you see interactions between the president and the Russian guy. You figure out the Russian guy is working with the president because they wanted to start a coup so they could start a war to bring glory of the United States back.
No, they wanted to bring an economic stimulus to both countries.
Kind of. The Madam President definitely just cared about the United States.
Yeah, she cared about the United States, but he
Russian
talked
guy.
about how he wanted to bring economics to Russia back, and the best way to bring an economic is
Yeah.
war.
And then he was like, and I don't trust these American fools.
Yes.
And both of them didn't trust each other, so both of them tried to strike first, and the Russians won.
Yep.
So yeah, and you go through, like, this story is so boring. It's just not interesting at all.
And
And
then-
the only thing that's really tantalizing about it is the cool fucking enemies you get to
Yes.
fight along the way, like that giant ship that turned into like a giant walker.
Oh god.
Oh my
that thing
god, it was
insane.
huge, and it was so cool. It's just this giant ship that where they're like, oh my god, it's this class of ship, it's illegal. And I'm like, well, fuck it, just build them then.
Yeah.
But it's just, and then it turns into a giant robot walker. Everything they have turned into a robot.
Yes.
That's what they do. But it turns into a giant robot walker that has this giant cannon that just fucks everything it touches.
Yes.
So cool, and you have to fight it. It's so cool.
Yeah, and you have to like get inside of it, and
And
you
it
have
has
to climb all the way through.
The best
and
scene in the whole game where you see the dance party. That was my favorite scene. Oh my god, it was so funny.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
when
see-
they're all by the
Yeah,
beatbox.
so like there's these little wall creatures.
Yes,
like-
they're robots that extend out into barricade walls.
yeah, so then they have a little gun in the middle that can come out and shoot.
Yep.
You shoot that gun and that's how you destroy it. But other enemies can get behind those walls. So it's a cool robot. That's a really
Oh,
cool
yeah.
idea for a robot. So one of the robots is just, it's a wall that's a boombox and it's playing music and all of the other robots are just dancing around it. And I was like, this is fucking sweet. This is really fucking cool. And then I tried to get into the middle of it and they just start shooting you if you get near them.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is bullshit. I wanted to join the dance party.
What I did is I threw an EMP. I think I either threw a regular grenade or an EMP grenade in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then I just like slid underneath them all, and then just.
Oh, nice. I just wanted to join the dance party. So I couldn't. They didn't want me in there. So yeah, and then the cool thing too about that part is there's and you fight this thing a couple times.
The unknown.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
so cool. Like it's this robot that's almost like a magnet. It's a little
Yeah.
ball magnet thing that pulls in scrap metal as its body, and then it surrounds itself with that. So if you're shooting it, you have to shoot the scrap metal to get to it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
then
really cool.
It can pull like weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And like use those weapons against you. All these different lasers
Yeah,
and
it was
guns
definitely
and
my
rockets.
favorite thing in there. Like I
And
really
the
had a
best
good
thing
time.
against it was the giant laser cannon.
Oh, I used it. Doesn't matter. Like you can EMP that thing and kill it in like 2 hits.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
The laser cannon though, it would always break them apart.
yeah.
Like as soon as you touch them with the laser.
Oh, it was. It's such a sweet concept. Like they did do a really good job with the enemy robots.
Oh, yeah.
Like I thought that was so cool. That guy, the big mechs like we talked about earlier, that
Mm-hmm.
giant fucking ship, that really big mechs that you fight. You had to
Yeah.
fight 2 of at one point. Like those are really
Well,
cool.
And even like some of their like ships that they used and stuff like that single turret flyer.
yeah.
It was literally a turret with a base shield and everything, and they would just drive around and just.
Although the lamest thing was the walkers.
Oh yeah,
those are stupid. They had these walkers that like didn't
they were like AT walkers,
ATSTs.
or ATST walkers.
Yeah.
but they were open cab on the top.
Yeah.
and if you just shot the driver, you could
And
take it over.
Yeah, and it's not very good. Like it had limited ammo.
Yeah.
It was a weird one. It's just
And that was one of the hard things too. All the turrets and all the ships and everything
Yeah, it
that
had
you
limited-
used had really limited ammo.
yeah, which makes sense. You see, here's the thing. That totally makes sense.
I know it does.
But every other game we've ever played all the turrets are unlimited for some
Yes.
reason. So you get used to this faucet where, hey, I have this unlimited ammo now. I can really just do some. Nope, can't.
Yep.
Yeah. And so yeah, as we advance through the story, there's a point where you make it to the control room, and this is where I totally thought it wasn't Burns at first.
Yeah.
Because there's this guy leading you to the control room, and he's just like, it's just up ahead, don't worry, trust me.
Yeah.
And every time like he talks, I'm like, you don't sound very trustworthy.
No, I know. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I was like, is this guy gonna fucking betray us? Like, is he leading us to a trap? Because that's what it seemed
Well,
like the entire
and then
time he's leading you.
You're like asking about Burns, and your person in the ship, the girl, is like talking to you, and she's like, "Oh, he's talking to someone right now, communicating outside of the space station, but
Yeah.
we don't know who he's talking to." And you're like, "What?" And then you like call him, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "I got ambushed," and you're like, "Oh,
I think that's
okay."
after. So I think
yeah.
it made sense that he's talking to someone because I think because in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, he's calling for reinforcements.
Yeah.
Right. That's you see the cutscene between him and the president, so
Yeah.
you know why he's doing it. But your character might be like, oh yeah, of course, like we're getting fucked over here. We need
Yeah.
reinforcements.
So basically, the president's like, "Kill Sam."
yeah. The president wants you to use the weapon on Moscow.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, seriously, Madam President, you just watched it boil like 3 million people. You want to boil more?
Yeah, seriously.
You dick. So she wants you to use the weapon on Moscow. The professor, he really plays a very minor part in this game, and you could take him out without because the only driving force is it gets Sam in the game.
Yes.
And besides that, it does nothing else. So you could just make up something else for Sam.
You could have just had him been like... You could have even had, like, someone tell, like, the president or someone tell Burns that he needed to take him because they needed to test out this new suit.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been any other excuse.
And I guess I was confused at what he was doing at that moment, too, when he dies. So Burns kills the professor because he's on a computer just doing something. But he doesn't really say what. Like,
so they did kind of mention it a little bit. So from what I gathered is... He made it so they would have to manually move the position instead of being able to use that control.
Okay, well, that's good. But how did he get away from the Russian?
I don't know.
Did the Russian want him to manually move it? It's very confusing.
Like, there's so many of these things you're just like...
Yeah.
You kind of have to just go with it. It's like a big dumb action movie. You just have to go with these things. You can't care about why they're doing these things.
Yeah, and then Burns kills the professor by just shooting him. And he's like, and your guy has a cigarette in his mouth. He's like, Professor... No. It's just like Batman. It's like the funny way Batman talks.
Dr. Fishing. No.
So that's exactly what it is. This guy sounds so bad. And Burns is like, listen, boy, the United States needs to kill Moscow now, and that's what we're going to do. And you're like, no, please, don't do it. I'm super stoked for you not to do that.
Right? And then he's like, and then all of a sudden, like, 15 Marines come out of nowhere and surround you.
And now they all fly.
Yeah, which was weird too.
That never happened while you were with them.
Even he got more gear.
And he could fly too.
And he got a bigger, like, shield armor.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And, like, so he upgraded all of his gear. All the Marines upgraded all their gear. They upgraded all of their weapons.
And
I'm like...
Their fire rates were better. Their hits were better.
Fuck yeah. They killed me more than any of the robots did.
I went through that fucking... Because that guy was just so hard. Their fucking hits, and they had good snipers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, their hits were insane. I was like, man, this part... I died so many times.
Yes.
Just trying to get through that part.
It's annoying too because they're like, you need to stop Burns before he gets to the control room to manually move the laser over to Moscow.
It gives you this faux time limit, but you don't really have a time limit. And so I thought you had to do it quickly. So I'm like smashing through, and that's why I'm dying so much. But eventually I'm like, okay, so there's no real time limit, so I can just fucking sit here behind cover and keep reloading and killing.
And one thing we didn't bring up either too is that slowdown mechanic when you're like getting hit, you can also use it just whenever you want. So if you're doing an evade, you can hit a button to slow down time, and it slows down time for your overheating system.
If you're jumping over, there was another way to do it.
And then when you were when you're sliding and shooting your gun, you could slow down time too. And so
I saw in a video somebody actually did it while they were just running. So I really am curious how they did that. So because they didn't lose all their health. So I'm curious how they might have modded it or something, but that's what I saw.
You can do the evade, the roll, and then at the end
they were just walking.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they were low on health, but didn't. I didn't see them get hit because they activated it behind cover and then came out and started shooting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool. I wish I knew how to do that.
Yeah,
but they might have modded it.
Maybe.
This isn't easily. I saw that Steam had like a huge mod section for
I didn't even notice. But yeah, so it had all those things, and it was kind of like Sleeping Dogs in that aspect where you could slow down time. Yeah. The slow down time was a little janky sometimes, but it was really cool at the same, especially the sliding and shooting.
It helps. So on boss fights, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to slow down time. On the final boss fight, that's the only way. I could not win if I wasn't slowing down.
They fucking move way too fast.
Yeah, and the and Burns fight too. Absolutely have to slow down time because they are constantly shooting. They never stop shooting.
And they're constantly getting near you. And if they get near you, they can almost one-hit KO you with just their fist or their sword.
Did you ever use the punching mechanic?
Yes.
I rarely use that.
It was always a one-hit KO.
Yeah, true, but it drains you instantly, which puts you in a bad spot.
Which sucked too, Using melee attacks in any form drained your overheating bar. Yeah,
but only if you hit.
Yeah.
Do you notice that too? That's what a weird way to make the mechanic. Like, oh, don't worry, if you miss, it won't drain your overheating bar because even though you're using the same thing.
The best thing you could do is if you were like far away from a group of enemies and you wanted to get in there, you could do the dash in, and when you were low on your energy bar, that's when you, like, the first enemy you rock into, you could actually hit the melee button while you were doing the dash, and it would do like a backflip kick and kick them in the face.
Cool. I never used melee.
And so I would do that a lot, where I would dash in, backflip, and then shoot all the rest. And it was like one of the favorite things for me to do.
Yeah, so you go through, you're shooting up a lot of robots. It's just like, again, no plot, just straight, just shoot, and that's it. Then you kill Burns, and Burns. This is where I get this bullshit.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this in other games where they just like make a complete 180.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm evil now, and then he's like dying. And he's like, maybe you were right all along. Don't worry, I'll blow this shit up. And you're just like, what?
What?
You just, what? What? You're dying and now you're like repenting yourself? What the fuck?
Yeah, he had like 4 180s during this entire game because so many times he wanted to sacrifice Marines and you convinced him not to. And then there was a few times that he convinced you to let him sacrifice Marines. But then there was times where he came to save you, and other times where he just left you to dry.
Or he like punched you in the face and was like, see you later, kid.
Yeah, and then like it was just going back and forth. Like you could not tell if this guy was a good guy or a bad guy or both or what.
He was such a polarizing character. And then Spider-Man was the other game where it's just these weird 180s these people make where it's like, okay, I love you now. and then Burns, it's totally what it was. It's you defeat him and you're finally on, like, I think you have to, no, you escape after, no, you do escape. You have to, like, escape a little bit and then you make it to, like, it's weird. This is where we were, like, you're hanging off the edge of something. You have one arm hanging off the edge. The other arm is just dangling at your side. The camera pans for 1 second. Your arm's still dangling. Comes back, you have a cigarette in your mouth. And you're like, what?
And
where did that come from?
The people, like, while the person who like kicked you to make you hanging off the edge of that
is still just standing there.
He's hanging out. There's 2 of the first guy, the Russian guy, when you fought him. Now there's 2 of them. There's a red suit and a blue suit. Yeah, so and you don't know which one he's in.
Yeah, it's really weird because he's in both.
Yes.
So he's controlling it from like an outside source.
Yes.
So this is where I was like, during the fight when you kill one, he's like, wrong choice, and I was like, so does it matter which one you kill first? Should I go back and try to kill the red one instead of the blue one first? But it reveals later that no, both were actually fake.
Yeah.
Like he's controlling them from a distance, which I thought was fucking weird.
And this is where I get the mastermind thing from DC Universe because he's literally sitting on a giant like Morbius chair or whatever that chair is called. And he's got like all this tech coming from it, and he's just controlling everything. And
imagine
these suits,
that kind of fucking focus.
Oh, God.
And they're doing different things. They're not doing the same thing.
These suits are the fastest things in this entire game. Even when you slow down time,
they're your suit, but they can fly and they're way faster.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is bullshit. Upgrade my fucking suit to fly.
And then you get like partly through the battle, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Take off all of the safety specs on the suit, and she's like, what? That's bad for you.
This is what Sega does, because that's what they do with Supersonic.
Yeah.
So he went supersonic. That's what he did. He went supersonic.
Which it literally made your overheating bar go up like 3 times the normal amount.
And it slowed down how fast it went down. It was so fucking cool.
I'm like, I wish I had this for way longer. Like the entire Act 5 would have been great to have this.
And once it does that, you're just like, unlimited power.
And then you like kind of defeat him, and then your suit starts like really malfunctioning, and you're like, I can't move. I need to move. And then all of a sudden he gets up and he's about ready to kill you.
I know. It was like, so he's down on the ground. He's barely crawling. It looks like he's completely mortally wounded. And then he just gets up. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was just faking it.
Yeah.
I wanted you to think that I was dead.
And this game, we haven't really mentioned this with the game too. It had a lot of these quick time events with a lot of the boss battles and like a lot of the big mechs. Like there was a moment in one of the big mechs where you actually like turned yourself into a drill. And drilled through the head of something.
So basically, you'd hit one button and then another button and then another button.
And then you'd swirl the thumbstick if you were playing a controller. Yeah. I don't know how it worked on the computer.
On the computer, you would just hit a button like multiple times.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it's annoying because hitting, like going like this is actually more annoying than swirling a controller. Yeah. But hitting the mouse is way easier.
Oh, okay.
So when it was the mouse, it's awesome. When it's like a button on the keyboard, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But all these stupid events, they do the same thing in our next game that we'll talk about, but like all these like quick time events. So you defeat the main bad guy and they're, I wasn't there all along and I am going to destroy the space station.
And then you found out that both of his suits had nukes in them.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
and they were going off in 5 minutes, and I was like, what
Why-
the fuck?
Also, why'd you give it 5
Yeah, well-
minutes? Just fucking blow it up. It's
Like,
like, you
literally.
wanted him to survive.
Exactly. So, of course,
Damn it, why did I make the 5-minute time limit? I should have made an auto. Whose job was that?
your Oracle lady's like, there's a getaway escape pod right over there. And you go into it, and you're like getting in it, and this is weird too, because then the bomb goes off, both nukes go off, and it starts exploding, and you're traveling down this tube, but all of a sudden explosions start happening in front of you. You're leaving from where the explosions were, and all of a sudden it starts exploding, and it's bashing your ship around.
Yeah. I imagine it's just like that's what they do in every fucking Star Wars, Star Trek. All the explosions are in front of you now, because when one system fails, they all fail, and it doesn't make any sense.
But it goes from the point it goes out. It doesn't start here and go boom, 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 boom.
Also,
boom, boom.
by the way, the shockwave. So you're in space.
Yeah.
So the shockwave
Which
is
send you
infinite. Well, it's infinite.
Yeah.
So it would never stop, right? So why the fuck would she not? As soon as he's on the ship, even if she thinks,
fuck out of there.
even if she thinks he's dead, like, all right, well,
Yeah.
are you there? Nope, I'm out. Let's go. It's going to go forever.
And seriously, she's like scared and all worried, and her ship's way too close to this explosion.
Yeah, like way too close.
Way too close. And then like she sees the pod that looks like the pod, and it like scans in on it. It says his name, Sam Gideon. And then
no life source.
Yeah. And then she's like starts crying, and the ship's still exploding, and shockwaves are like hitting her ship. And then all of a sudden,
this is where this like love story,
so
love story
stupid.
made no sense.
So
the
stupid.
entire time, like you're thinking there's like this maybe a little romantic connection because they're like joking back and forth, but they might be good friends.
Being a little flirty.
Yeah, but then it's just like, don't worry, baby. I made it back.
Yeah, and he's just behind her, somehow got in the ship. She didn't open any doors.
Literally, if it were me, I'd be like, I'm in the fucking ship. Go, get the fuck out now. Get the fuck out now. Like, why the fuck? Why did you just?
And then he has to embrace her.
I'm right here.
He embraces her. She gives him a big hug.
Oh god, it's so
They're holding each other
terrible.
for a long time. Then the ship fully explodes, and it
they
starts
fall.
blasting their ship. And
she falls, and he catches her.
God, it was
It was so lame.
And then
it gets like they made
I'll talk about the
this
president
game.
thing because I love that scene.
Okay, you can. They made this game for a sequel, though.
Yes, they
and
did.
they did not release a
They
sequel. I thought that was really funny.
So yeah.
So go with the president thing. 'Cause that was
then
hilarious.
cutscene happens, and you're in the president's in like the
She's in like
communication
a meeting,
room.
like a
It's the
meeting room.
communication room that you see in every movie where they're talking about a bunch
All
of
the
things.
generals are seated, not in this case, but that's where the generals.
It's only
normally
her,
would be.
and it looks like she's possibly giving like some sort of address or something. She's like, "I resign my presidency." Pulls up a gun and just boom.
Well, here's the weird part. She pulls up the gun. She hesitates.
Yeah.
It pans off screen like it's like,
Yeah.
okay, she's gonna put the gun down. Then she pops it.
Yep, and then
I'm
it pans
"Fuck
right back
you."
on her and like shows like the blood and the bullet hole, and it's like that was a pretty brutal
Yeah.
on-screen
Yeah,
suicide.
because at this point, Sam Gideon knows it was the president who
Yep.
initiated this. But it still doesn't make any fucking. They would have covered it up.
Yeah,
they would have covered. What
easily.
Why? Why would you not? And so the president kills herself, and then you see like So the Russian guy, I think, survives.
He does.
And then he flies
Because he-
off and he talks to someone.
He was in that little ball.
Yeah.
That he was in
Like
controlling
a
other
really
things.
advanced ship. Like an
Yes.
insanely.
And then that goes into the side of another ship that has thrusters, and he thrusts
Yeah.
out of there. And then he's talking to some person.
So the
saying,
main bad guy who you never met, who
And
you
he's
will
like,
not meet.
everything's going according to plan, and you're like, everything's going according to plan. What the
You
fuck?
just blew up the space station weapon you wanted. That's not part of the plan.
Was the plan to use it on the U.S.?
Was the
Get
pla-
the president to kill herself?
Right?
Get all the Marines to kill
Truly, our
themselves?
plan was to make Burns betray people
Kill
seven
a ton
times.
of the American military and then blow that up, and
but then also sacrifice all your robots.
I was like, what?
I don't know. It was weird, and it doesn't like they introduced. So this is poor writing. You don't introduce like a main bad guy at the end of the
Yes.
fucking game unless you are for sure going to
Yes.
get a sequel. You have to be confirmed before you finish the game.
This is as bad as Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know if you saw that movie.
No.
So it's a spin-off from the Fast and Furious franchise, but in Hobbs and Shaw there's organization the entire time that's behind everything, and it's this one guy trying to kill them, and he's tied to Jason Statham's character, and then you defeat him at the end, and then all of a sudden
fuck
like
his
there's
corpse.
some lifeless person, just some voice that you hear being like blah 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 blah, and then you're like, oh, that's the real bad guy. Fuck, this is stupid. You don't know anything about him, and we still haven't got Hobbs and Shaw 2.
But I mean, they would make that. They will not make Vanquish 2. And if they do, I really hope they recast everyone in it.
Yeah.
I really, fuck everybody who was in that fucking game. It was so bad. The voice acting was terrible.
Yeah, none of the story, really, it was hard to pay attention to.
It was very not cohesive.
You play this game just for the gameplay.
Yeah, because the gameplay's so sweet.
It really is.
They did such a good job, and I think it's because of the report. I'm sure if I played the original, I would hate it.
Maybe.
But the report was so fucking good that
I will say, so, because I originally played it, I originally was playing the original, because I had it on the 360, but I was telling you, I kept on having all these glitches and stuff happen. And when I was originally doing the tutorial, I could not turn really well when I was doing the gliding thing. On the original, and then I kept on having the game freeze, and I kept on having all these issues. So on the report version, the first time I did the tutorial, I breezed through that tutorial. I was like, "This is so smooth,
so much better.
Smooth."
It's ridiculous how much better it is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's fucking stupid. But yeah, don't play this for a fucking story because you will get 0.
Yeah.
And at the end, I did like what they did at the end of the game. So they pulled the Super Smash Bros. So this is the thing that Super Smash Bros. Melee does in their games. If you remember the original Super Smash and Melee, I don't know after that, but they make it so the last part of the credits is like a laser. You're laser turreting on your spaceship, and you have to destroy asteroids. And then if you destroy them all, you get to see the credits and see who created it. And I thought there would be a scene after that, and there wasn't.
Yeah.
So I kept going.
And it was, so the end cinematic scene, you couldn't pause, you couldn't fast forward, you couldn't do anything over, and that was 3 minutes. And then this took 6 minutes for the credits. And you couldn't pause or fast forward, because even on the Super Smash Bros., some of those you could fast forward.
Yeah. Oh, all of them.
Yeah.
You can fast forward.
You couldn't fast forward through this at all. And you didn't know if there was anything more at the end because they had.
If you got a bonus for killing everything, all the asteroids or something. I don't know. You honestly don't know if you've never played the game before, but you get shipped.
Yeah, apparently I think you do unlock some sort of God mode.
Oh, yeah. I did get God mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just unlock that if you beat it.
Yeah, which I think pretty much is probably that full suit thing that you unlocked at the end last battle. You probably get that throughout the entire game, I'm guessing.
No. So God mode difficulty.
Oh,
it's a difficulty.
It's a difficulty thing. Okay.
It is insane apparently, and I did not want to try it.
No, not even the normal difficulty was
kind of difficult. And this game,
especially at the end, 7
or 8 hours is not a long game.
I honestly the time that it said on my last because after every mission in each act, it would come up with a screen saying how long it took you, and then it told you total time.
It wasn't total time. I thought the same thing. It's average. Okay. Yeah, it's really stupid. Because I'm how am I still at 2 hours when I know I've been playing this for 3 hours long?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused about that too.
I don't know what the fuck it was.
It said I was at 4 hours of gameplay, and I'm
no.
I think I'm definitely at 7.
Yeah. So that was bullshit. And then the Steam also, it shows you played 6.1 hours. I'm no, I played more. I played 8 hours, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's about 8 hours long, I would say. It's a fun 8 hours though. You get to shoot the fucking shit out of things, which was awesome.
Yeah, I honestly, and I didn't die too much. No. Definitely at the end, I died more than any part of the game. The end was just way the most challenging part. That last mission where it goes from Big Mech to Burns to the 2 Russian guys.
Yeah, it's just insane.
And I was running so low on ammo in that last battle because I went through all of that, and they didn't give you much ammo throughout those things.
And the last guys you can't beat unless you slow down time.
Did you see the hidden collectible things in the game? The little trophies?
I didn't. There's no point to getting them.
I didn't know if there was or not.
There's not. I looked it up afterwards because I'm should I go back through and play through and see if there's a point? There's no. It doesn't unlock anything.
Oh,
don't
weird.
put fucking collectibles in there unless there's a point.
Yeah, and the first time I saw one, I was that's weird, and I went to try to stand on it, and nothing happened. I shot it, and then it turned red, and I was or whatever it did.
And it didn't explain those at all during the game. I found my first one near the end. There's also 5.
I found 7 of them.
There's 500 of them. There's a shit ton. There is a lot. There was it was a way too big of a number where I was no, you guys are fucked if you think I'm going to go through all the levels.
At the beginning of every mission, if you walked around, there was almost one in every single beginning mission area.
So there was 10 or 7 per mission.
Oh, okay.
So not act, per like mission.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because like in the first
there's
act,
5
there's
acts
8
and
missions.
7 missions, I think, in each, right?
No, the last act only had 3
Oh,
missions.
that's right.
So I think, the first one had like 7, and then it had like 6, and then like 8, and then like 5, and then 3.
Imagine
like
finding 10 of those per that.
Yeah.
That's just fucking obnoxious. That's not fun.
Especially if it doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah, it literally amounts to 0. Those collectibles, don't even bother with them. Like, I looked it up. I tried my best. I was like, all right, so does he get like a cool suit difference? Or like, do you get like the flying suit? Or do you get a cool gun? Like, anything like that would have been fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But these coders were very lazy.
Yes.
Like, it's obvious with the story, they were very lazy at writing this stuff. But yeah, I think are you ready for reviews?
Yeah.
You want to talk more about anything else?
I don't think there's much else to talk about, honestly. So I think, yeah.
All right. I'm going to say worth.
Yes.
I'm going to say it was a fun gameplay game, just the story was shit.
Yeah. You can get this game for $20.
You can get it for like $2, I bet. You can wait till a
on
Steam
Steam
sale.
or on like Xbox, like the full price of it. Like we saw it on Steam not too long ago for like $8.
Yeah, it was way cheap, and then we didn't buy it because we're stupid. So,
but yeah, this game I definitely say worth as well. It's really, really fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how much fun I had with the gameplay.
yeah, don't play the original though. Play the fucking revamped.
Yes,
revamped is way better.
especially because if you have it, especially on a good PC, like. Playing this at 4K with the highest quality of graphics and motion blur and all this extra shit, it looks and feels so good and smooth as hell, except for the wall mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I think this game has a lot of. If they made a Vanquish 2, I think I would play it because
I would.
I think they would take everything they fucked up with the first one and hopefully fix it.
The only thing that I would worry about is if they did something like Anthem.
True.
Yeah.
But that's not Sega.
No, I know.
See, and Sega is this amazing fucking company. And I know I rave about Sega. They are just the best company out there. They make the worst games, but they are the best games. And they so
have
cool.
the most interesting gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, they go outside of what everyone else does. No one else has a shooter like this.
Yeah.
Like, I've never played a shooter like this. Most of my gaming career has been on shooters.
Yeah.
And I would say a majority of the games I play are shooters, but this one just felt so different.
Yeah, it felt so smooth.
It
honestly.
really did.
Like, it's crazy how cool this game was. So if you ever get the chance, I would buy it. Like, I would buy it on sale. Don't buy it at full price.
Yeah,
$20 is not worth it. Unless they're going to use the $20 to make a fucking sequel, then maybe.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe buy the full price, and then maybe they'll make a sequel instead of being assholes.
There we go.
Give us more, since we don't know who the main bad guy was.
We both bought it for $20.
Yeah.
So.
But it was a fun game. I think we all both had a lot of fun playing it. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So
next week's game, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Yes, Star Killer.
Yes. I can tell you right now, it's the same thing as this game with the boss stuff. I hate it.
I know.
I hate that shit. It's the worst thing in a game. But also the locking system is so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to talk about that next week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening again. Comment, review, everything. We're on everything. You want to press that button again?
I will press that button again.
Look, there we are. There we are. Look, there it is.
Look.
We're on everything.
Should make it smaller so we don't have to move out of the way.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine.
Oh, I could also put it in front of us.
No, it's too late. Just do it next
Yeah,
time.
whatever.
Next time. So rate, review, comment. I mean, give us some game suggestions. We
Please.
struggle every week to figure out what game to play.
We've only had 2 suggestions, one from my wife and one from my brother.
Yep. Oh, and one from someone else gave a suggestion. I don't remember what it was. I had 2 more suggestions from other people.
I think we put it onto the list, but we haven't.
Yeah. I don't
done it
remember
yet.
what they were, but I've got to ask them and see what they were again.
Okay.
But they suggested really long games, so we might not play those.
Yeah.
But maybe one day. Maybe we'll do that as a 3 or 4 week game.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. This is Soul of a Gamer signing out.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.